I'd like to introduce my wife, Nancy Kitson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nancy Kenson. Of course, work with Jack, work with Omar, work with all these guys. It was so great to hear this band. It made me think of a night. Pretty much all of these players were out there with Anthony G. Parrish and friends, and they were putting on a great show. It was the second Saturday. It was middle of July, about 100 degrees. We had a huge, maybe 1,000 people out there. And the band was rocking, they were doing great, and then Omar was going to come on as the special guest star. And I remember thinking, I wonder how this is going to work, because people had really been dancing, and then we're going to shift things up. Well, we took the break, Omar came on, and he started playing, he started playing Ray Charles, band got in with him, and suddenly he stopped it. Something just wasn't right. Remember that? He had to get you guys up to speed. It was like he stopped it and started over, and then apparently everything was okay because he kept on going. And I got to say, he was just dominant. He hit those keys, and he's always complaining of being an old man, an old man. But when he was on the keyboards, he wasn't in pain. He complained about pain in every part of his body, but never his hands. His hands kept going. I want to tell you one little funny story about Omar. This was on Halloween, the great fall festival downtown that's organized by Marshall Main Street. Bo Ellis does that. It's probably my favorite night of the year. I don't know how Bo does that. But he gets 10,000 people downtown with candy. That's it. Doesn't cost any money, doesn't do any advertising, just puts out the candy, gets the word out through the schools. It's just a phenomenal, beautiful, wonderful night. And Omar was up there playing on the Telegraph stage, and he played and played for 3 hours. It just sounded great. But of course, there's thousands of kids going by in their costumes, and all the merchants downtown giving out candy. It was just a great, great night. Most of you were out there. I'm sure you remember. And so afterwards, we're walking to the car. I'm talking about what a marvelous evening it was. And Omar said, yeah, that was beautiful. What's the occasion? What's the occasion? I was like, Omar, you're the brother from another planet, is what I said. He was our friend. We loved him. We're just going to miss him so much. And one more concert I want to mention is when he played with West Jeans. That was awesome. It was out of this world. And it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. West Jeans. Thank you.
All right, see if I get through this without choking up. Our walk through this life is all too brief. And that walk, most of us search for beautiful gifts that life has to offer. And as a musician, playing music really is one of those gifts, God-given gifts. And I believe that Omar will tell you the same thing. I know he felt the same way. With that gift, though, of being a musician, it comes its up and downs and struggles and triumphs. But every once in a while, it seems like the planets and the stars and everything align, and you have those moments of like musical clarity and musical bliss, what I call kiss the sky moments. And as musicians, we crave that. We crave those kiss the sky moments. And I know for a fact that Omar had tons of those throughout his career and his life. I mean, the guy was an incredible player, and he had tons of them. And I'm proud to say that I got to share a few of them with him. I'll never forget the first time I met Omar. And actually, I heard him before I met him. I heard him. I was like, wow, what is that? Who is that playing? I said, man, I've got to jam with this cat. There's no two ways about it. I've got to jam with whoever that is. And luckily I got to. And the first time we played together, and every time after that, I always walked away a little wiser, a little more humble, and very grateful, for the opportunity to share the stage with such an immense talent. And a guy that was a real guy. He wasn't one of these storybook, fake blues guys. He didn't come wearing the little blues man hat, his little blues man shoes. I mean, he was the real deal. And to get to share the stage with a guy like that and really learn from him, it's a very not everyone gets that opportunity. Omar accumulated a wealth of musical knowledge that literally it takes a lifetime to acquire that, and it takes a lot of miles, and it takes a lot of good gigs and bad gigs, and it takes a lot out of you, but it also builds a lot of character. And Omar had plenty of character. All right, I'll always be thankful for not just the time that we played together, but the discussions before shows and after shows, and him basically just laying on me like all of his favorite players and what he thought that I should know. Hey man, you've got to get hip to Art Blakey. You need to like such and such, And it was like a music lesson, just every time you talk to him. And anybody knows me knows I love to talk and really love to talk about music. And then those musical lessons are something you can't buy. There's just that's one thing, especially in blues. It's one of those musical forms and art forms that you've got to learn firsthand. And if you don't, if you learn it from a book or you learn it from the internet or whatever, it's very transparent. It's one of those things. It's not real. There's no feel behind it. And Omar could see through all that. I mean, he didn't care that I was this white kid playing blues. He could see past my physical presence and really see my musical heart and know that the feeling was there, and that he and we shared a very common, we got together on the same wavelength, so to speak. And he didn't care. He didn't care if you were rich or poor, white or black. It didn't matter. If you were a good musician, you know what you were doing, and you played with soul and your gut. That's all that mattered to him, because that's the way he played. He very soulful player. Even when he didn't feel good, even when he was hurting, couldn't hear himself, whatever, and he's one of those guys that if things weren't really going his way on stage, he'd let you know. I can't hear myself. Well, he'd get pissed, and he'd let you know. But you know what? The feeling was always there. And sharing a stage with him made you rise to that occasion, and it made you play with feeling. Before I choke up, I just like to say that I'm very grateful for Jack and Nancy and everybody for bringing Omar back and keeping him playing. As a musician, I would love to be playing until the day I pass away, and still loving what I'm doing. And Omar did. I mean, that was his heart and soul. When he played, it was no joke. It was his heart and soul. He was a musical gem. And I think Marshall, Texas, and the whole world has really lost a true musical gem, a legend, and a great guy, and a mentor for all of us young musicians and even older musicians. And he'll be greatly missed, but we'll keep trying to do what we can do playing, and I'll keep him in my heart when I'm up there playing, and we'll do what we can to keep his spirit and his feel and his knowledge, what little bit I actually accumulated, keeping it alive. So anyway, he'll be very greatly missed.
The sky is crying. Can't see the tears roll down the street. The sky is crying. that my baby, she don't love me no more. You know the sky's got me crying, baby. Lord, can you see the tears roll down my nose? Thank you very much.